Welcome back. Europe is leading the push into battery-powered cars amidst a surge in energy prices and supply shortages worldwide. Car makers are showing off vehicle models at the Paris Auto Show aimed at fulfilling Europe's goal to phase out internal combustion cars by 2035.
The Paris Auto Show is back after a 4-year absence due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Europe is leading the charge into electric vehicles. Cars with an electric motor made up around 41% of sales in the second quarter in Europe, with 9.9% of it being battery-only cars. Dacia CEO Denis Levaux said sales this year in the European market decreased overall by 30%. As the cost of living crisis continues to affect people all across Europe, there is a need for more affordable cars. Renault's Mobilize brand plans to achieve this by offering car sharing and rental solutions, so people don't have to buy one of their own, making it accessible and affordable.
So if you just need a car, car sharing is you pay at the minute, you pay at the hour. Same for ride sharing. So you don't have to bear all the expenses linked to the car, maintenance, etc., etc. So I do think that in the view of the fact that automotive is going full electric, it's going to be more expensive. Inflation of raw material is going to be more expensive. So for most people, it's easier to manage a budget if you just use the mobility means at the time you need for the specific needs you have at that period of time. And then you can do multimodal. You can sometimes use one or the other.
However, challenges await car makers as well. In the switch to electrification, as electric engines and components are more expensive and not readily available in Europe.
The car industry has a lot of problems until the COVID crisis, the semiconductor crisis, and so on. And here in Europe, you have a law to stop the commercialization of thermal vehicle in 2045. So car makers have to produce only electric cars. But electric cars is more expensive, 30 or 40% than thermal vehicles. And they have a big problem to commercialize it. So here you have some banks to help car makers to commercialize electric vehicles.
Another stumbling block on Europe's way to 100% electric is the lack of charging points across EU countries. And the European Automakers Association have called on the European Parliament to push member states to build more charging points. Hydrogen cars at the Paris Auto Show was gaining a lot of attention, but infrastructure is still ambitious and expensive. There's still a long way to go before 2035. When European Union emissions regulations require a 100% reduction in emissions of carbon dioxide from autos, which in effect mandates an all-electric fleet.